This just may be the scariest muller on the internet. Well, we'll get into why in a minute. You have to watch. So I finally got a muller, and I'm pretty happy about it. Had a friend of mine build it for me. We actually met up through the channel here. He lives not too far from me, an hour and 45 minutes, I think, from me. And anyway, we've hooked up a number of times. Good guy, and he made a muller for me. It's fabulous. I love it. I'm going to show it to you in just a sec here. I'm going to also take some sand that I have just recently used as a casting. You can see it's big clumps of hard stuff. We're going to throw it in there and just see what happens to it, okay? So anyway, let me take you over there. I'll open up the garage door, get some light on the thing, and we'll show you what it looks like and how it works. You know, I had a guy tell me not too long ago, like a few days ago, he says, "You always look so tired in your videos." I'm sorry. I'm old. What can I tell you? I work. All right, so here it is. Real quick, I'm going to go through this. I've got some stills I might throw up as well. We'll see. Built inside a 55-gallon drum. Actually, it's built on a cart with wheels, so I can move it around wherever I want. And I can actually stack off to the side. I can stack sand in the side of the thing. So it's real handy for that. Real handy for the ability to be able to move it around, store stuff on it, store stuff in it, maybe. So at the very bottom of this thing is a 1 horsepower DC motor. And you can see it there. It has a speed reduction box on it. It also has a chain drive to the main drive in the muller here. That main center post that is driving this whole mechanism on top here has actually got 2 bearings on it. It's got a bearing on the bottom. It's got a ball bearing on the bottom that holds the weight. And then it's got a bearing around the side, wherever you are, there you are, bearing around the side to hold it around from moving this way. There's also one at the very top up here too to keep it from moving, you know, willy-nilly. That is all encased inside a steel tube so that sand cannot get out through the bottom. That drive mechanism comes up through the top. It's bolted onto the top here. You can see he actually turned a hard rubber plug to go in there to keep sand from coming down inside here, but you can unscrew this nut and you can take this whole mechanism apart if you want to and lift everything up and out of here. Another thing that I really love about the fact is the adjustability. You'll see here, every one of the blades has got this block with a rod going through it. I can loosen these nuts up. I can turn that rod any direction I want. I can raise and lower it if I need to, if it's starting to scrape too bad or if I'm not going deep enough. I can move it up and down very easily by just loosening the bolts just a little bit, moving that rod, cinching it back up again. And so the blade here that scoops everything off of the outside of the wall and into the track of the wheel is over here. This one is actually one that breaks up the sand after the wheel has gone over it. So sometimes it'll get packed down. That will break it back up again. This one keeps the sand from the center, from building up in the center and running over the end of the wheel. The wheel is a steel wheel, so hopefully no wearing out there. It's not like an aluminum one. It's got plenty of weight on it. But in the event that it doesn't have enough weight, there's actually a tension adjustment over here on the side that allows me to increase or decrease the amount of down pressure on this wheel. You can see this spring here in this knob. It allows me, all I have to do is turn this knob and it will tighten that spring down and it'll actually drive the wheel down in here. The last thing you'll see on here is a spring-loaded wiper blade for the wheel. So as the wheel is turning, if sand were to want to build up on there, this blade is actually there to scrape the sand off of that wheel. As I mentioned, it is a 1 horsepower DC motor. Now that is driven off of a 220 volt power supply and power control system, which also has the ability of running variable speed. So I can run this thing as low as about 9 RPM or I can run it as fast. I think I measured it at like 53 RPM, which is way too fast for mulling sand, but it will go that fast. So I'm going to turn it on here in a sec, and we're going to mull that sand that I showed you, that the stuff with the big clumps here, and we're going to see what happens to it. Last thing I want to show you is, let me turn it around a little bit here for you. There, now you can see that. You can see the wheel better. Is this water delivery system. So it's a funnel. It's got a metering device he's put in the bottom of the funnel. It sits right here in the center. I actually welded this piece on myself to mount this thing. The nice thing about it is, and I got this from Clark Easton's muller that he had, when you're pouring water, if you're trying to pour it around while this thing is turning, that's hard to do. With this thing in the center, it's just rotating. I can just pour the water in. That metering device that's in there, when you see how it does, it actually just kind of trickles the water out all the way around, nice and evenly, nice and uniform. So it's really pretty darn cool. Let me go ahead and turn it on for you. I will run it at its low speed first, and then I'll run it up to its high speed. Take this thing out of here. I don't want that running around. And just show you the speeds. Then we'll slow it down. I'll dump the sand in, we'll put some water in, and we'll go ahead and mull it. So this is the lowest speed it will run, which is pretty darn slow. I can start increasing the speed, and I can turn it up right now. So that's 53 RPM. That's too fast, right? 9 is probably too slow. Although when I'm mixing dry ingredients, it's kind of nice. I have a lot less dust that way. I don't have to worry about big clouds of dust coming out when I'm mixing it up. So we're going to go ahead. We'll probably mull it about that fast just to get started here. Let me get to the sand. We'll dump it in. Get you back in the frame. All right, you see how much sand is piled up here now. This thing won't care. You're going to be amazed here. All right, we'll add some water here now. And keep an eye on the end of that tube and watch how that water comes out. You can actually see it hitting the sand. Nice and easy for me to pour in here. There we go. I thought, we got a problem. Where's my water? See how it's dribbling out there, nice and easy, nice and uniform. See what's happened to those large clumps of sand. I'm going to go ahead and finish mulling it, and we'll bring you back at the very end. I'm going to go ahead and open up the bunghole and let you see what it looks like as it's draining. So we'll go ahead and turn this thing on again. All right, well, hopefully that inspires you to go ahead and either try to put one together yourself or find somebody that can put it together for you. I'm telling you what, this is going to change my life as far as casting is concerned, because every time I used to cast before, I would stand there with a hand mixer and I'm trying to mix up this stuff and I'm trying to regulate the water across, 10 different loads of sand because I can't mix that much by hand. The fact that I can dump my entire box, molding box full of sand in there and just run it, get it all consistent, it's going to change my life. So, and I love it. It is so strong. I mentioned to you earlier that it's the scariest, probably the scariest muller on the internet. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what was so scary about it? Well, first, I'm going to tell you, it is not the fact that it could rip my arms off, which it could, because that thing has so much torque with that 1 horsepower motor, with the speed reduction box, and with the gearing on that chain. Ain't nothing stopping it. It just keeps turning. I could be in there and it would just chew me up. I'd be like sand when it was done. That isn't it. That's not the scariest part. You remember when you saw the water fall through this funnel and how it kind of trickled out and it was nice and evenly distributed around the what do you want to call it, the circumference or the interior of the muller? Well, he put a metering device in the bottom of this funnel to slow the water down so that it's not, if I pull it out here, you can see it's not that big hole. It's a much smaller hole. I realize that for some of you, this could be scary stuff. So I'm warning you up front. This might be scary for some of you that are in, some places here in the States, some places like the UK, Australia, New Zealand. I love you guys, but you know how you are. The metering device is the casing for a 10mm cartridge. Yes, that's right. The thing that you put inside a gun and you pull the trigger and it goes bang, or goes pew for some people. That's what he drilled out. That makes this the scariest muller on the internet. Don't worry, it is safe. I know how to handle these things. All right, well, that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up here. Listen, if you want to keep the ads off this channel, go out and check out my website, plmfoundries.com. See if there's something on there that you might want to purchase. It helps fund the videos. It helps fund a lot of the things that I do to show you guys. So I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that has been out there. You've done a great job, and it's been pretty successful in my opinion. So I'm pretty happy. Go check it out, plmfoundries.com. And let's see, what else? What is there? Something I'm missing something. Oh, I know. Be a blessing to somebody. Go do something nice for somebody. Say something nice. Give a waitress a bigger tip than she deserves. There you go. That's something you can do. And you guys have a great day.